Welcome to the Paragon Financial Partners Podcast, where we discuss the markets, our strategies, and how to live better today while planning for tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the second episode of the Paragon Financial Partners Podcast. I'm here with Evan Shorten, the founder and principal of the firm.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we continue our podcast series and try to bring you useful information. If there are any specific topics you would like to discuss, please feel free to give us your feedback.
Today we want to discuss a very important topic that does not receive enough attention, and that is the topic of elder abuse and exploitation. While not all of us may be nearing retirement age, it is important for us to be aware of the signs regarding elder abuse and how to safeguard against it. Elder abuse and exploitation affect our moms, dads, and our loved ones, and we think it's important for us to be involved in their retirement whenever possible. Evan, could you give our listeners more information regarding elder abuse and exploitation?
Yes, of course. So it's important to recognize that each year, hundreds of thousands of older persons are abused, neglected, or exploited. This includes losing over $2.6 billion annually due to elder financial abuse. Unfortunately, no one is immune to elder abuse, which includes neglect, emotional abuse, physical abuse, and exploitation, including one's financial affairs. Today, we will focus on the financial abuse and exploitation of our loved ones. First, what is important to recognize is that the person who is exploiting a senior can be anyone the senior is associating with. And this includes family, friends, caregivers, financial or insurance advisors, and even the auto mechanic.
I really want to stress the fact that almost anyone can be a perpetrator. We always envision ourselves or our parents and loved ones getting the best care from service providers, but unless we listen to their concerns, we never really know. Evan, besides directly speaking with our parents and our loved ones regarding their well-being, what are some of the signs our listeners should look for? Also, what can be done to establish some safeguards against elder abuse and exploitation?
So it is important to recognize signs of financial elder abuse and exploitation. These will include significant changes in one's financial situation, when a senior is not allowed to spend their money the way they prefer to, when large amounts of money are being withdrawn from their financial accounts or being gifted, when new types of investments are being made and the senior cannot necessarily comprehend or doesn't have critical understanding of the specific investment, when the senior seems to be isolated from family or friends, when possibly we recognize sudden changes or even frequent changes to legal documents, increased complaints about caregivers or one's belongings being missing, or even if a caregiver is requesting to be prepaid for their services. Another item to consider is when new friends enter the senior's life and the senior may become infatuated with this person. So please recognize that the list I just went over is not all-inclusive. There are many other things to take into consideration and be aware of. So please, if you have additional questions, concerns, feel free to give us a call. Let us know how we can be helpful to you and your loved ones.
Evan, that's a good list. It definitely gives a lot to think about. Thank you.
Absolutely. And to give you an example of how these signs can come together, I want to share with you a situation that one of my clients found herself in. So she lives in a retirement community for about 7 years now, and one of the community administrators has been helping to file her taxes. It seems they noticed that she's been making donations to different charities throughout the years, and also became aware of a major life event. So the community organizers and the caregivers began speaking with her about making a donation, sizable donation, to the retirement community, to the point that my client felt not only somewhat frustrated or peculiar about the situation, but really more so pressured to make a pretty large donation, one of which she's really never made that size of a donation before. And after she expressed her concern to me, I coordinated with her and her family to really get a greater understanding of what her true wishes were and how the community fit in to her wishes, if at all. Well, ultimately, the family and I spoke with the community leaders and logged a complaint against their initiation for this gift. Thankfully, the situation did not escalate much beyond this point. And the reason for that is because we were able to step in. And this is why it's important to be involved.
As we said before, anyone can be a potential victim of elder abuse and exploitation, and it becomes an even bigger risk as you get older. It's extremely important to keep in constant contact with those who are closest and most trustworthy. With that, Evan, could you give our listeners some helpful tips on how to mitigate elder abuse and exploitation?
So let's talk about some ways to mitigate this type of abuse. First, being attentive and cautious of telephone, internet, and mail solicitations. And yet again, being both attentive and cautious in making financial decisions and monitoring one's own assets. It's important to also stay very active by avoiding isolation and considering volunteering in something that is near and dear to your heart's core beliefs and values. And further, be aware of family, friends, or caregivers that might have need for financial assistance or recent histories with abusive behaviors. When it comes to having a caregiver, it's extremely important in making sure that the caregiver is doling out prescribed medications at the precise time that is directed by the physician, because potentially any sort of deviation may cause an disruptive behavior or reaction. Discussing any sort of significant changes to one's legal documents with someone you trust completely before taking any action. And then always get another opinion.
Evan, thank you. That was useful information. We hope this podcast has provided you something different than what you're used to hearing in the media and from other financial professionals. Hopefully, we have given you something new to think about. Thank you for listening along.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in. We really appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more informational episodes. If you have any further questions regarding elder abuse, please feel free to contact me directly. And if you have to report a case on elder abuse, please call the Bureau of Elder Abuse at 1-800-722-0432. Thank you again, and please subscribe to our podcast and share it with your friends and family.
Paragon Financial Partners, Inc. is a registered SEC investment advisor. The broadcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as a solicitation or offer to purchase or sell securities. The financial strategies and guidelines discussed herein may not be appropriate for everyone, as each individual circumstance is unique. Please review all tax information with your tax professional. Please review all legal information with your legal professional. We hope you enjoyed the Paragon Financial Partners Podcast. And again, thank you for listening.